Hi friends, it's Simone, your favorite neighborhood nerd. Today I want to share with you my current state of my fountain pen collection. Current means as of December 29th, 2024. I've always had some weird feelings about acquiring fountain pens, having a collection, growing that collection, and put rules and limitations on myself on when I can and cannot buy a pen. And that did not work out well in 2024. And I felt guilty. But actually, I stayed within my budget, and I mostly was very happy with the pens that I acquired. And also, I don't really care about the number of pens so much anymore. So today, one of my friends, Kelly, posted something in my Discord server, and I want to read it to you, and that is going to be my motto for 2025. I don't find restriction to be a virtue or acquisition a flaw, so I don't really care as long as I respect the budget. And this is going to be internalized in my body. That's why I don't really have a problem with sharing all the pens that I acquired in 2024 or before, everything that is here. The reason why I'm sharing this with you now is because I want to get an actual number of how many pens I own. So let's start. I did classify those pens in 3 different categories. One is, well, actually more. One is my regular rotation. That's all the pens that I use on a regular basis with all the fun colors that I have of inks. And I use those pens to journal, to write letters, to play with, to do anything and all that I want to do. Then I have a collection of functional pens. Some of them I use regularly, like a pen that I use in my planner or in my creative journal. I love to use a very fine nib and black ink in that. So that is one specific dedicated pen or 2. And then I have, in those functional pens, I have pens that it doesn't really make sense to sell the pens or let go of the pens, but I rarely reach for them. I don't like to have them in my journaling rotation. Those are pens like Platinum Preppies, Pelikan, TWSBI Eco. Maybe I want to use them for art at some point later. And so I have them here. They are here if I want to use them, but I'm not keeping them in my rotation because I don't really want to use them for journaling. I have a collection of retired pens. And then I have a cup that I just recently started of fun pens. Those are pens that I use that I swap out the nibs with Pilot Parallel pens. And I'm going to show those to you later. But let's get started. And I'll show you my collection first. And then this is a special part of that collection. So I'm just going to open. I have the collection in these 2 pen cases. This one is a Kako case that I purchased from Amazon. I actually prefer this one over the Gallon leather one because the zippers aren't as big, and these are metal, these are plastic. So I think maybe I'm just going to sell this and get another one of those, or I'm just going to save up to get a Toyoka pen box. But I'm going to start with the pens that I have in this pen case. First one that I have here is a Walltown Watts in the Turn Penco Acrylic Sebastian. This is an awesome chunky pen. I have my Schon Design Monarch nib on this pen, and I like how they play with each other, how they work well together. So I keep that nib on this pen. This is one of the only hand-turned pens I have here at the moment. I do have 2 more hand-turned pens that are currently with Ben of Mayfair Pens. He's adjusting them for me for a little bit. One is the Vanyar model that I purchased at the San Francisco Pen Show. I will include a photo of the both of the pens right here. And then the other one is the Naria model. This is a pen that I'm currently considering selling. Then I have my collection of Pilot pens. There is 5. I have this Pilot Custom 743 in verdigris. I purchased this secondhand this year. It has a 14 karat medium nib. 14 karat means it's a gold nib. And I really love it. I also have the Pilot Custom 823 with a 14 karat medium nib. This is the amber one. So basically this and this is the same nib, but I really enjoy this specific medium nib, and so I am just keeping both. It's interesting how the cigar shape differs from here. This is very pointy, this is very rounded. Then I have the Pilot Custom 74. This was one of my very first, this was the first gold nibbed pen that I owned. In Burgundy. I purchased this from Pensace in 2022 maybe, or 2021. It also has a medium nib, but it's a smaller medium nib. I don't really use this pen anymore. The section is a bit narrower. I prefer the size of this pen and nib, but it really works well with shimmer ink. So when I want to use a shimmer ink in a fountain pen, I tend to grab this one and put those shimmer inks in here. I have 2 Pilot vanishing points. These are their cheaper models, with the steel nib. This one I purchased at the same time as I purchased the Custom 74. This one I just purchased recently in the fall. They are both around $80-ish. I think this was even cheaper than that. They come with steel nibs. I exchanged nibs on both of those pens. So this one has a 18 karat medium Pilot vanishing point nib unit in it, and this one has a extra fine 18 karat medium nib unit in it. And this is a functional pen, so this is not part of my pen rotation usually, because I use this exclusively in my planner. It is with my planner. I had to dig for it and pull it out. It is permanently inked with De Atramentis Document Black. I tried Platinum Carbon Black in here. It had quite some hard starts and dried out. The Document Black in here does not, which I find very amazing. And so this is a functional pen for me. Then I have 2 Pelikan pens. This is the Green Demonstrator M800. Both are M800s. This is the Green Demonstrator. I added this to my collection last year. This was my Christmas pen. It has an 18 karat gold nib with a fine nib. And this is currently inked, as well as the other one that I just added to my collection. I purchased this secondhand from my friend Wendy Sue, and she also purchased it secondhand. This is the old transparent body. However, I can't really look through this. It doesn't matter. This one has an 18 karat gold nib as well, but this is the medium nib. And I really love Pelikan M800. Is definitely one of my favorite pen bodies to hold and write with. I love the weight of the pen. It's super well balanced in my hand, and that's why I didn't hesitate to add this to my collection. I'm not sure if I will ever add any others. These 2 really work well for me right now. Then I'm going over to this side. These are 2 Waterman Courants. This is the, if my research is correct, is the royal blue. It has another 18 karat inlaid nib. It's a fine nib, and the marking is down here on the bottom. Maybe you can see that, maybe not. But if you wanted to find out what nib size it is, it would be engraved in the bottom of the grip section. A friend of mine sent this to me and let me try it with the option to purchase if I wanted to. I did, and I really like the fine nib. I was considering selling it because it's quite fine and very stiff, but I wrote with it for quite a bit, several pages, and it was so nice that I decided against selling this pen. But I added another Waterman Carène in black. Well, not another in black because I only have one in black, but the other Waterman Carène that I own is the Waterman Carène in black with gold finish. And this one has a medium nib, and I really like both of those very much. Then this was an addition that I added in 2024 at the San Francisco Pen Show. I had no intention to buy a Leonardo pen ever. But I was just drawn to this pen. And then I saw the nib and I was super intrigued. I asked if I could try the nib. And then Salvatore of Leonardo, he said it for me, let me try it without having to buy it. But I tried it and I was like, okay, I'll buy this right now, right here. And so I've been really happy with this ever since I purchased it. And this is not the last Leonardo pen. I actually pre-ordered the Kintsugi. I did not go for the Kintsugi from Stilo when they were in stock, but they are doing a second run. And so I ordered that one, and I'm getting it I hope maybe before my birthday in February, but they said end of January, beginning of February, they should be ready. And I'm very much looking forward to that. It's the smaller, the regular Leonardo, and to see how it compares to this pen. Maybe that's a good time to then also make a video about this pen, because I haven't done that yet. This one is the Montegrappa Elmo, I think Elmo 1 in the marshmallow finish. I really fell in love with the acrylic and had to buy it. You know, when you look at your collection, you think, what pens could I sell so I can fund this one? That's one of those. I really still love it. It has a regular Jowo number 6 medium nib on there. Oh, this one is a titanium nib in medium. And I really enjoy writing with this nib so much, so that I'm actually considering adding another one in fine. This one has a medium steel nib. The balance of this pen is amazing, in my opinion. There is some weight here, and so it lays super nicely in my hand. The downside of this pen, and I don't know if this, I think this happens with all Montegrappa Elmos, is that the evaporation is crazy. It does not dry out. That is very interesting. I have never had the problem of drying out on me, but when I put an ink in there, it's going to be darker for at least 2 or 3 lines until it goes back to the regular color of the ink. And the less I write with it, the more that happens, which I find very disappointing. Montegrappa Elmos are quite expensive. I think I paid about $330 for this pen. And that's something that I'm really grappling with this. I love the pen. I love the way it feels. But I feel like for over $300, a pen should not do this. That's my biggest pet peeve with pens in general, is when there is evaporation. I can handle a tiny bit, like 2-3 letters. That's fine. But if it's more than 2-3 lines, I'm losing my patience. This is my small Benu collection. I added this just recently. This is the Benu Talisman Dark Unicorn. It's a collaboration with Gourmet Pens. It's purple, it has holo shimmer in it. I had to add this to my collection. This will probably be the only talisman because it's quite short and it feels very unwieldy when posted, or odd. It doesn't lose its balance though. It's still nicely balanced, no matter, it's balanced, but it feels short in my hand. It feels like there's something missing here. If I put this on the back, it's there, but it looks weird in my opinion. But I love it still, doesn't matter really. So this is the Dark Unicorn in collab with Gourmet Pens. So cool. This one is the Benu Euphoria in Gold Coast. That's the name. Oh, I forgot to say, it doesn't really matter what nib size it is, but I will tell you in a second. This is a collaboration with Atlas, the Atlas exclusive. This one currently has a broad nib on it. I love using these Schmidt nibs with shimmer inks. And this one currently has a medium nib on it. The nibs are interchangeable between these three. And I'm really looking forward to the Daily Mate. Maybe I'll add one to my collection. I really want to see how it compares to the Talisman and the Euphoria. This Benu is the Jazz. This was my very first Benu that I purchased. And even though it looks like they have evolved over time, most of the Benu Euphorias don't have the black cap band and grip section anymore. I still very much love and enjoy this pen, and so I don't think I will let go of it. This one currently has a fine nib on it. And then the last one is one that was sent to me by Benu because I inquired about it and they sent it to me so I could share it on my YouTube channel. It's the Benu Ambrosia Brown Orchid. It is smaller. I think this is considered a pocket pen. It's a smaller pen. It still comes to be quite a regular full-size pen when you post it. And my cap is secure, so it doesn't fall off when I'm writing. It doesn't come loose. The grip section is a little bit narrower than the Euphoria and the Talisman, and I notice that when I'm writing with this. This also has a smaller nib. This is a number 5 nib. This is a number 6 nib. And I'm struggling a little bit with this pen because I do have two nibs for this, a fine and a medium, but they don't flow as well as these ones. And so often I have the problem that when I write with it for a bit, it starts to get lighter and lighter, the ink. And so maybe the flow isn't as good. But yeah, so I'm currently considering if I'm keeping this pen or if I'm selling it. But these are all the pens that I have currently in this pen case. And let's move on to this pen case. This is the Galen Leather Crazy Horse Brown 20 pen case. We'll talk about these first and then we'll look at my expansive sailor collection. I have 5 Lamy pens. 3 of them are no, they're not. These 2 are all-stars. This is the Lamy All-Star in bronze. I prefer the All-Star or LX over the Lamy Safari. And I have gold nibs from Lamy, the Z55 and the rose gold one on these. That's why I have 4. Extra fine, fine, medium, and broad. So this one is the extra fine gold nib. Then, man, I have the teal one. I think this was a special edition in 2023. This one currently houses the medium gold nib. This one is the Lamy LX in Maroon. This is a really pretty one. You can see the difference is that the clip is not silver, and this screw up here, the finial here, is the same color as the clip and not this black, probably ASB plastic. The nib on here is a broad, this one is the rose gold version of that. Doesn't have a breather hole. It feels different in writing too, so I would highly recommend getting the regular gold nib if you wanted to test that out. And then I have the Lamy Safari Violet Blackberry. This one has the fine nib on it then. This one is a special edition 2024. And yeah, so far so good. Some of my pens, I feel like they will be forever pens. With these, maybe if there's another special color coming along that I like more than one of those, I would possibly swap them out and either give those away or sell them. I'm not, focused on keeping these specific ones. I just have 4, so I can have all 4 nibs on a pen. And then I have the Lamy 2000 with a medium 14 karat gold nib here. This is a piston filler pen. Piston filler and what is the other? Vacuum filler pens are definitely not my favorite pens to own. So I'm trying to limit and really be very specific about what pen comes into my collection and why this pen, even though it is like, it has a negative point, still is better than getting another pen with cartridge converter system. This one definitely fills that spot. I just love how this medium nib writes. It's a really different writing experience. I love, even though it's so different, like, the sparkly unicorn pens here from these ones here. It's completely the opposite end of the spectrum, but I really enjoy the design aesthetic of this one as well. And so why shouldn't I have both of these types of pens in my collection? This one is the only, I have 2 TWSBIs left in my collection. This one is the only pen that I'm using on a regular basis. This one is the TWSBI Diamond Mini in black with a reverse architect nib ground by Kirk Spear of Penra. It is filled with either platinum carbon black or the Atraventus document black. And I use this in my creative journal all the time. Interestingly, there is like one layer of lacquer here on the grip section is starting to flake off. Oh, you can see this right here, maybe. So I'm not sure what's happening with this. I do not have good luck with TWSBI pens, so I decided to part ways with every single one of them. I was trying to replace this pen with a different pen, but that did not work out. So I'm still using this one until I find a better option. I would love to find a pen that is not TWSBI that can house this TWSBI nib unit. This pen was gifted to me this summer at the San Francisco Pen Show. It's the only Franklin-Christoph pen that I own at the moment. It's the P20 in a resin that I don't know where it's from and what it's called. It doesn't have a screw cap, has a Jowo number 6 nib, even though it screws in very deeply, so the nib looks smaller. And yeah, I'm really enjoying this as well. I love, love, love the resin here. The holographic hollow sparkles are just fantastic. This is my very reduced Esterbrook SD collection. I had quite a bit more pens than these 3. But I I got rid of the ones that weren't my preferred colors. I feel, especially with the Estes, they look different on camera than they look in real life. And two of them just didn't hit the sweet spot for me. So I have these three left. This one was an edition at the San Francisco Pen Show. And these ones I had acquired in 2023. This one is the Honeycomb. It currently houses a medium steel Yovo nib. I use these often for my specialty nibs because of their inner cap mechanism. And they, in my climate here, which is desert climate, cap pens tend to dry out even more. So I want the specialty nibs to be able to write easily. So I like that they have these inner caps, and often that helps with them not drying out, being able to write right away. This one is the Funky Lake. It's housing a regular medium nib right now. And then this one is the Scarlet. And this one has a medium nib as well. I was debating letting go of the Scarlet. But I don't know. I really like this red. And so for now it stays. I also like how they look with each other. If I find a pen that I'm really excited about and I need to figure out where I could accumulate some funds, maybe this is going, but for now it's gonna stay. All right, so let's talk about all of my sailors. My sailor collection exploded in 2024. I had this one on loan when I started the year, and these are the pens that I acquired since. Wow. They're not sorted, so I'll just start. Maybe we can do that. I'm going to put this right here and this over there. This here. Oh, I'm gonna do this. Because there's a reason why this is taking so long. Okay, so this is the Sailor Pro Gear Slim Mini in Azure Blue. It has a 14 karat medium fine nib. It's a pocket pen, and it is constantly inked with Lamy Cliff. There's a dark blue ink, and I really like it. I consider this a functional pen as well. It's in my pen case, and when I'm journaling in my creative journal, I either use this one or this TWSBI Eco with black. This one is the Sailor Pro Gear Slim Lion Friends Sally. I got this for very cheap at the San Francisco Pen Show, and I need to clean it. I pulled out all of my pens from everywhere, and so this was in the cleaning cup. This has a fine nib. I got it tuned by Matthew Chen of Pactagon, and even though this is not the most comfortable pen, it's still great to write with it. Not for longer sessions, but I love this, and it was cheap enough to just keep it in my collection until maybe another pen comes along that I need to fund or want to fund. And it's not in my collection for long enough to say, oh, I'm never reaching for this. This needs to go. And also, I'm trying, as I said, steer away from I have to use this in order to be able to keep it in my collection. I just love how it looks, and that's why it's here. This is the Sailor Pro Gear Wanch, or maybe a Wancher Hawaiian Ripe Coffee. This has an extra fine nib. I purchased this. I released it from my friend Nadia because I love using this. Again, as an alternative for my either planner or my creative journal. I love filling this with black ink and using it. I love the crisp fine line that it produces. This is the Sailor Yoseka collaboration Pro Gear Origin with a fine 21 karat gold nib. This was tuned by Greg Minushkin. I purchased this secondhand. I actually also don't know if this is the original nib or not. I don't really care at this point. I was debating of maybe swapping out the medium nib from this pen to here because I really want to use this as much as I can because I like it so much. However, I'm very surprised that I like the fine nib that's on here. I really like the crisp line it produces again. So the only one that is missing is a medium fine nib. But these two are both medium nibs. This is the Sailor. This was a North American exclusive. Pro Gear 2 Hot Habanero. There is a chili pepper on here. Yep, not a habanero, a chili pepper. I swapped it out with this nib. This what came originally came with a medium nib. I put a music nib. I put this medium nib on here. And I have to unfortunately say that I'm not as drawn to this pen, even though I love it. I love the idea of it. The orange is not the orange that I would want. I'm looking at, I don't know. This might be one of the pens that if a Sailor comes along that I prefer, maybe I would swap this out. Not sure. I'm trying to be more open to having pens in my collection for a time. And when that time has passed, then it just moves on to somebody else, you know. So this is the 2 Hot Habanero. Then this one is the Sailor Pro Gear Imperial Black. And this was the first Sailor of all of those that I purchased. And wow, did it change my opinion about Sailor pens? I love this so much. It has a medium nib and it feels different than the polished finishes. This is matte, but you know, the more you touch it, the more shiny it gets. And of all my Sailor pens, this is probably the one that I love most, even though I think it was almost the cheapest one of them all. This is also like the Wancher, not technically a Kena pen. This is the Nagasawa Gierske with the ink bottle finial in gold, transparent gold. It has a 21 karat broad nib. And man, I really enjoy those nibs. They're smooth, but also have feedback. It's just, I love them. And I do have some of them inked, not as much as I wish. That's the problem with having so many of one brand. But yeah, they're really lovely. Then this one was a secondhand edition. Someone on my Discord was selling it and I was just so drawn to this. Got a good deal on it, so I bought it. It's another broad nib. It's the Sailor 1911 large Wicked Witch of the West. I love that purple. I wish it had sparkles though. It's another broad nib and I haven't used it enough yet. So even though I'm getting more pens, I really need another, let me experience all of my pens because I love them so much and I want to use them. Maybe that's the reason why I always feel guilty when I get more pens and because I want to use the stuff that I have. This one is one that I am selling. It's a Sailor Pro Gear black with silver trim and a music nib, but it's still in my collection, so it counts. And then this one is the Sailor Pro Gear King of Pens with a broad nib, also 21 karat. It's a huge nib compared to, let's just put this one right next to it because it doesn't have this big stub on top. It's almost double the size that it feels like, but yeah. This is another one that is on my list of pens I'm considering selling. because even though every time I use it, I like writing with it, I'm not naturally drawn to using it. So if, for instance, if I write with the Pelikan M800, which I would consider in a similar price range, I would always prefer the Pelikan M800. And so I don't know if this pen just needs to be set free so that somebody else, you know, can love on it more. All of those decisions don't have to be made right now, so I'm good. But I'm just letting you know while I'm talking about all the pens that I have, which ones are favorites, which ones are maybe on the consider selling list. Now it gets a little bit complicated. Let's talk about these. Recently, I received a package from my friend Wendy Sue, and she sent me a ton of very affordable pens that I haven't even inked yet and tried much. And those are these, almost all of them. This one was in a stationery selection box. I swapped out the nib with a Nemosine from Birmingham Penco nib, extra fine. Now it writes really well, and I like how it looks, but it's not a pen that I would seek out to write with it. So I'm possibly going to give this away at some point. That's why it's here. These are on the list of getting rid of these pens, possibly after filming a video about them. This is the Jinhao 80. The one that is very similar to a Lamy. It has a fine nib on it. I don't think I have tried it yet. Oh, there should be somewhere. There should be a cartridge for this. This sounds very discriminatory against cheaper pens, affordable pens. I'm not. I just have so many other pens that I'm drawn to a lot more that these pens don't really count. And what I mean by that is I don't want to keep a slot for a pen that I'm not going to use, even if it was $15, even if it was $32, even if it was a gift. Because that's where my guilty feeling comes in. If I see this pen all the time and it's here and I'm just not using it, gravitating towards it, then maybe it's better placed in a home where it's loved more. So my plan for these pens is to just ink them all up at some point, hopefully this spring, film videos about it, test them out, tell you my opinion on them, and then possibly just pass them along to someone else, unless, oh, there's nibs that need to be put in here, unless I'm so enamored with the pen that I feel like I will be using this more than just once for the video. So this is an SBN, I don't remember. This is an SBN pen. This is a piston filler. This is basically the copy of a Leonardo Momento Zero. It has steel nibs. It's a piston filler pen. The piston works well. It's smooth. I don't remember the nib. Need to find it and put it on here and then film a video about it. But I think all of those pens actually are really good alternatives for people who don't want or cannot spend a whole lot of money on these other name brand pens. These are maybe Chinese, but that doesn't make them bad pens. They are awesome pens as well. This one is a Pen BBS 323, I believe. This one has a mini Fuda nib, and yeah, Wendy Sue sent it to me because she loves the shape of the pen and also the mini Fuda nib and wants me to try that. And so yes, I'm actually super excited to try them all. Just need to find the time and dedicate some time to them. This one is the SBN V126. This is the custom 823 dupe. This is a vac filler pen. It has also a steel, I don't even know what it says, SB nib. It feels very good in the hand. This feels like a really good pen. And then she also sent over this one. This is the Jinhao 1919. I already had one of those at the beginning of the year that I gave away to someone. I want to try and use this with a Pilot Parallel nib when I film my Pilot Parallel nib video, and see how it works. And then I will pass this along. I have so many other pens that I love using that I don't want to fill up spots with pens that I might just use occasionally. This is a pen that just came to my house. This is the Admok M800. I purchased this mainly because I wanted to see what the hype is all about, and I can tell you that it's justified. It has a Schmidt nib, just as on the Benus, but it's a fraction of the price, and it works really well. I actually have it inked with Waterman Serenity Blue, and I'm using it right now. This is a Wingsung pen. I don't remember which model exactly, but the interesting thing about this one is that it has a very similar nib to the Pilot, what's that called? The Pilot Kakuno and such, and you can actually remove this. I can't right now. It has a very similar, and I'm not sure if they're interchangeable or not, but these were given to us at the nib grinding workshop, and you use those pens and the nibs to practice. So this is still here. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with this, but it's here. Maybe I'll give it away at some point. Maybe I'll practice grinding. I'm not 100% sure. I'll just leave this here because at the end I need to count them for my total number of pens. These are all pens that I just have. I tried the Moonman A1, and this one has currently I believe the Pilot steel nib. Yes, Pilot Fine steel nib on here. It writes. The steel nib is actually really nice. I was a little disappointed with the Moonman because it dried out more than the Pilot Vanishing Point. I don't know. I heard so many good things about this. That was just my personal experience, so I don't think I want to ink this up with anything and put it into my rotation. So it's here. It's probably also one of those pens that will just be given away at some point, or maybe I'll find a use. I have two of those Lamy desk pens. Joy is what they're called. Oh, there's a nib on here. Interesting. But yeah, these might, if you enjoy using them, I'd happily pass them along. They're just here. And these ones are the ones that I'm not gifting away or putting away, because I keep the TWSBI Eco for comparisons when I have new pens, and then the Pilot Kakunos for arty projects at some point, maybe. I don't know. So they're here, but they're not technically being used. But this year, I'm going to be honest in my numbering. So that's why they're here. I'm going to, put a total number on the top in my ink journal, and then put, list them out as these are the not used just here. These are the functional pens. These are the fun pens. And these two are retired. This is the Lamy Safari that I used when I was in high school. And this one is the Pelicano Junior. This was my middle son's first fountain pen. I really love the nib on here, and I don't remember where that is. That's unfortunate. But it has a crack in the cap, and I believe there is also cracks back here. And so I retired it because maybe at some point he wants to show it to his children if he ever has some. Now let's talk about the last category of pens. These are the fun pens. So I did a thing. This is the replacement pen for this one. I recently dropped this pen from my standing desk. It just rolled off, and this happened. It's currently still inked, and that's why I haven't swapped it out. But yeah, I reached out to Opus 88 and they actually replaced the whole thing. I was just asking if they could possibly send me a body or something, but no, they replaced it and it shipped super fast. They sent it on Friday. It came here on Monday from Taiwan. So that is amazing customer service. Not for once, but just, you know, this from a company that's not even located here. Is some other companies need to learn from this. Then I have this Pilot parallel body with a Pilot parallel nib. When this pen is empty, I drop it. I will replace it with a Wankai Mini. I have two right now with Pilot parallel nibs. I probably will, when this is empty, also replace this one, because my dream right now is to, yeah, I'm crazy. Replace the nibs on all of these. These are 10, so that would be 11. Replace the nibs on all of these transparent Wankai Minis with Pilot parallel nib units. And these are the best fun pens that I've ever come across. The nib unit of the Pilot parallel works in these minis. You can eyedropper them. That's the only way to fill them. Having the transparent body makes it easy to see what nib is there, what color ink is in the pen. Not like here where you don't. And then I have a whole cup full of amazing play pens, and I love this idea. That's what the plan is. I have some spare nib units from the Pilot parallel in my drawer, but I want to film a video about this, the process, and showing what other pens you can use besides the Wankai Mini to put these nibs on. And yeah, that's what I have here. This pen has a, I don't know, fine nib on it here right now. And it works. This is a regular Jowo number 6 nib. I'm not sure that I want to use this in my rotation with a nib. I'm probably just going to put a Pilot parallel nib on here and then, you know, have that as my pen. But that's all of my pens. I don't know the number. I will count, and but I would love to hear your thoughts. Well, actually, no, I don't really care if you think that's too many or too little. I would hear a pen that I don't have in my collection that you think I should try. Currently eyeing some pens, but I think I will, as every year I say, I'm going to slow down with my pen purchases in 2025, 2024, 2023, but it never happens, so I'm not going to say that. What I want to do is play with the pens that I have a lot of fun, use them a lot, and just enjoy the hobby. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you again soon. Until then, bye.